Ladies and gentlemen, in a world full of distractions, opinions, and endless noise, the greatest power we can cultivate is the ability to focus solely on ourselves and remain silent in the face of chaos. We live in a time where people are quick to speak but slow to listen, eager to judge but hesitant to understand. The path to true inner strength and wisdom lies not in the approval of others but in the mastery of oneself. In life, one of the most liberating realizations is that we do not have control over everything. However, what we do have control over is ourselves, our actions, thoughts, and responses. Focusing on what is within our control allows us to cultivate inner peace, avoid unnecessary frustration, and direct our energy toward meaningful self-improvement. When we shift our attention away from external circumstances and focus inward, we gain the ability to shape our lives according to our own principles, rather than being dictated by outside forces. Many people spend their time and energy worrying about things beyond their control. They become consumed by the opinions of others, external situations, and outcomes they cannot influence. This leads to unnecessary stress, anxiety, and frustration. When we invest our emotions in trying to change things that are not ours to change, we waste valuable mental and emotional resources that could be directed toward improving ourselves. The key to peace and fulfillment lies in recognizing the limits of our influence and focusing solely on what we can control. At the core of this principle is the understanding that we control our own minds. While we cannot dictate what others say or do, we have complete control over how we interpret and react to their words and actions. No one has the power to disturb our inner peace unless we allow it. If someone speaks ill of us, it is within our control to remain unaffected, rather than reacting with anger or defensiveness. If we face rejection or failure, it is up to us whether we view it as a setback or an opportunity to learn and grow. By mastering our own mindset, we become immune to the external turbulence that disturbs most people. Our emotions are another aspect of life that we can regulate. Many individuals allow their emotions to dictate their actions, leading to impulsive decisions and unnecessary conflicts. While we may not be able to prevent emotions from arising, we have the power to manage them. Instead of reacting to situations with immediate frustration or sadness, we can train ourselves to pause, reflect, and respond with rationality. Emotional mastery does not mean suppressing feelings, but rather understanding them and choosing how to express them in a way that aligns with our long-term goals. Time is one of the most valuable things we have control over. Many people complain about not having enough time, but the truth is that everyone has the same 24 hours in a day. The difference lies in how we choose to use it. Instead of wasting time on distractions, mindless entertainment, or unproductive conversations, we can prioritize activities that contribute to our growth and well-being. Time management is an essential skill for anyone who wants to achieve success. When we take control of our time, we take control of our future. Another crucial aspect within our control is our effort. No matter what circumstances we are born into or what challenges we face, we always have the ability to decide how much effort we put into something. Hard work, dedication, and perseverance are choices that we make every day. While we may not always see immediate results, the effort we invest consistently compounds over time. Instead of focusing on factors beyond our control, such as luck or external validation, we should concentrate on what we can do to improve ourselves and our circumstances. Our habits also play a significant role in shaping our lives. While we cannot control everything that happens to us, we can control our daily routines, the choices we make, and the habits we cultivate. Small, consistent actions lead to significant changes over time. By consciously developing positive habits such as reading, exercising, practicing gratitude, or maintaining discipline, we create a structure that supports our long-term success. On the other hand, allowing bad habits to take over results in stagnation and lost potential. Personal growth is entirely within our control. No one else is responsible for our development. It is up to us to seek knowledge, improve our skills, and work on becoming better versions of ourselves. In today's world, information is more accessible than ever before. We have the power to educate ourselves, learn new things, and expand our perspectives. Whether through reading, listening to insightful discussions, or engaging in meaningful experiences, self-improvement is always within reach for those who choose to pursue it. Our relationships and interactions with others are also areas where we have control. While we cannot dictate how others treat us, we can choose how we respond and whom we allow into our lives. We have the ability to set boundaries, walk away from toxic situations, and surround ourselves with people who uplift and inspire us. Instead of seeking approval from everyone, we should focus on maintaining relationships that are built on mutual respect and understanding. Ultimately, the ability to control what we can and let go of what we cannot is a skill that requires practice and awareness. It is easy to fall into the trap of external distractions and lose sight of our own power. However, by consistently reminding ourselves to focus inward, we develop resilience and clarity. The more we strengthen our ability to control our own actions, emotions and thoughts, the more unshakable we become. Life is unpredictable, and challenges will always arise. But by maintaining control over ourselves, we can navigate any situation with confidence and composure. Silence is often misunderstood in a world that values constant noise, quick responses, and endless expression. Many believe that silence is a sign of weakness, a lack of confidence, or an inability to engage. However, silence is one of the greatest strengths a person can cultivate. It is the mark of self-control, wisdom, and inner power. Those who understand the value of silence recognize that words are not always necessary, and in many cases they can be counterproductive. Instead of seeking validation through speech, they let their actions and presence speak for them. In many situations, silence is more powerful than words. It allows for observation, reflection, and deep understanding. When people speak impulsively, they often reveal too much, expose their vulnerabilities, or say things they later regret. On the other hand, those who practice silence remain composed, analyzing situations before reacting. They gather information, observe the behavior of others, and make decisions based on careful thought rather than emotion. This makes them more strategic, effective, and respected in both personal and professional interactions. Silence is also a tool of self-discipline. It takes great restraint to remain quiet when provoked, misunderstood, or pressured to respond. Many people feel the need to explain themselves, defend their opinions, or prove their worth through words. However, true strength lies in not feeling the need to justify oneself. When a person stays silent in the face of criticism or conflict, they show that they are in control of their emotions and do not rely on the approval of others. They do not allow external negativity to disturb their inner peace. Instead, they maintain their dignity, knowing that their silence speaks louder than any argument ever could. One of the greatest benefits of silence is that it creates an aura of mystery and power. Those who speak less naturally draw more attention when they do choose to speak. Their words carry weight because they are rare and carefully chosen. People listen to those who speak with intention, whereas those who constantly talk are often ignored or dismissed. In this way, silence becomes a source of influence. It commands respect and makes people take notice. The ability to remain silent in crucial moments is a skill that separates the wise from the impulsive, the strong from the weak. Silence also provides clarity. In moments of stillness, people are able to connect with their thoughts, process their emotions, and find solutions to problems. When there is too much noise, both external and internal, it becomes difficult to think clearly. Silence allows space for reflection and self-awareness, which leads to better decision-making. Instead of reacting based on impulse, a silent mind can assess the bigger picture, weigh the consequences, and act with intention. In relationships, silence can be a powerful form of communication. Not every disagreement needs to be met with words. Sometimes the most effective way to express disapproval, disappointment, or wisdom is through silence. It forces others to reflect on their actions rather than engaging in unnecessary arguments that only fuel negativity. Additionally, listening, an essential part of silence, strengthens relationships. When a person actively listens instead of waiting for their turn to speak, they gain a deeper understanding of the people around them. They become more empathetic, insightful, and trusted. Silence is also a tool for personal growth. Many people avoid silence because they are uncomfortable being alone with their thoughts. They seek distractions, entertainment, or constant conversation to escape their own minds. However, those who embrace silence understand that it is in these quiet moments that true self-discovery happens. Silence allows individuals to confront their fears, examine their desires, and develop a stronger sense of self. It removes the noise of external influences and helps people focus on what truly matters. Furthermore, silence is a form of strength in the face of adversity. When challenges arise, it is easy to react emotionally, complain, or seek comfort through words. However, those who endure hardships with quiet resilience demonstrate true courage. They do not waste energy on unnecessary discussions about their struggles. Instead, they focus on overcoming them. Their silence is not a sign of defeat, but of unwavering determination. They understand that talking about their difficulties does not change them, action does. By mastering silence, individuals gain control over themselves and their surroundings. They no longer feel the need to fill every moment with words, nor do they allow others to provoke them into unnecessary conversations. They become more selective with their speech, choosing only to speak when necessary and with purpose. This not only conserves their energy, but also enhances their credibility. Their words are valued because they are rare and meaningful. In a world that encourages constant communication, those who understand the power of silence stand apart. They do not seek validation through endless talking, nor do they fear being misunderstood. They recognize that silence is not emptiness but depth. It is not weakness but control. By embracing silence, they cultivate inner peace, sharpen their minds, and gain the ability to navigate life with wisdom and strength. Seeking validation from others is one of the greatest obstacles to personal freedom and self-mastery. Many people spend their lives chasing approval, hoping to be accepted, liked, or praised by those around them. They shape their decisions based on what others might think, altering their behavior to fit societal expectations. This need for validation becomes a trap, preventing them from living authentically and making choices that truly align with their values. True strength lies in freeing oneself from this dependency and recognizing that external validation is fleeting, unreliable, and ultimately unnecessary. One of the main reasons people seek validation is the fear of rejection. Humans are social creatures, and the desire to belong is deeply ingrained. However, when this need for belonging turns into an obsession with being liked or accepted, it leads to a loss of self-identity. People start prioritizing the opinions of others over their own intuition and beliefs. They hesitate to make bold decisions, fearing criticism or disapproval. Instead of pursuing what truly fulfills them, they conform to expectations, seeking comfort in external approval rather than internal conviction. Relying on validation from others creates emotional instability. When approval is given, there is a temporary sense of happiness and satisfaction. But when criticism or indifference replaces it, self-doubt and insecurity take over. This cycle becomes exhausting, as self-worth becomes tied to the unpredictable judgments of others. In contrast, those who detach from external validation develop a stable sense of self. They are not swayed by praise or criticism, because their confidence comes from within. They do not rely on others to feel worthy, they define their own value. The pursuit of validation also leads to inauthenticity. When people constantly seek approval, they wear masks, saying what others want to hear and doing what they believe will earn them acceptance. This prevents them from expressing their true thoughts, desires, and emotions. Over time, this inauthenticity creates an internal conflict as they become disconnected from their genuine selves. Living for validation means living for others, not for oneself. The strongest individuals are those who have the courage to be themselves, regardless of whether they are accepted or not. Another danger of seeking validation is that it gives others control. When someone depends on external approval, they become vulnerable to manipulation. Their happiness and self-esteem are dictated by the reactions of those around them. This creates a dangerous situation where people can be easily influenced, pressured, or even exploited. On the other hand, those who do not seek validation are unshakable. They make decisions based on their own principles, not the fleeting opinions of others. They are not easily swayed or controlled because they know that true power lies in self-reliance. Letting go of validation requires embracing solitude. Many people fear being alone because they associate it with rejection or insignificance. However, solitude is where self-discovery happens. It is in moments of quiet reflection that people learn who they truly are, without the noise of outside opinions. When a person spends time alone, they realize that they are complete on their own. They do not need constant reassurance or external praise to feel valuable. Their worth is not dependent on the acknowledgement of others but on their own sense of purpose and integrity. The most successful and influential individuals in history were those who did not seek validation. They followed their own path, even when it went against the expectations of society. Innovators, artists, leaders and thinkers who changed the world did so because they were not afraid to stand alone. They were willing to be misunderstood, criticized, and even rejected in pursuit of what they believed in. Their greatness came from their independence, their ability to trust themselves when no one else did. Freedom from validation also leads to stronger relationships. When a person no longer seeks approval, their interactions become more genuine. They do not engage in relationships out of a need for validation but out of true connection. They do not seek constant reassurance from others, but instead bring confidence and stability into their relationships. This makes them more respected and admired, as people are naturally drawn to those who are self-assured. Letting go of validation allows for greater focus and productivity. When a person is not concerned with what others think, they can fully dedicate themselves to their goals and passions. They do not waste time overanalyzing how they are perceived or modifying their actions to please others. Instead, they operate with clarity and purpose, moving forward without unnecessary distractions. Their energy is directed toward meaningful work, rather than seeking approval that ultimately does not matter. Breaking free from the need for validation requires self-awareness and practice. It involves questioning why external approval feels so important and challenging the belief that worth is determined by others. It requires developing self-confidence, accepting oneself fully, and embracing imperfection. It is a process of unlearning years of conditioning and reclaiming control over one's own sense of value. Ultimately, true strength lies in living authentically, making choices based on personal values rather than external expectations. The need for validation is a chain that keeps people from reaching their full potential. When that chain is broken, true freedom is found. A person no longer lives for the applause of others, but for the quiet satisfaction of knowing they are being true to themselves. In a world filled with distractions, discipline is the foundation of success. Every day, countless things compete for our attention: social media, entertainment, news, and endless notifications. These distractions pull us away from our goals, making it easy to waste time and lose focus. Without discipline, we become victims of these distractions, constantly reacting to the outside world instead of shaping our own destiny. Those who master discipline, however, rise above distractions and take control of their lives. They understand that success is not built on fleeting moments of inspiration, but on consistent effort and unwavering focus. Discipline is the ability to do what needs to be done, even when one does not feel like doing it. It requires making difficult choices, choosing long-term rewards over short-term pleasures, choosing effort over comfort, and choosing progress over stagnation. Most people know what they should be doing but struggle to follow through. This is because discipline is not a natural state. It must be cultivated through deliberate practice and self-control. The mind naturally seeks ease and pleasure, but discipline forces it to stay committed to something greater. Distractions are everywhere, and they are designed to be addictive. Social media platforms, video games, television, and even unnecessary conversations can consume hours of valuable time. These distractions create the illusion of productivity and engagement while offering little real progress. People justify spending time on distractions by saying they need a break, but often these so-called breaks turn into hours of wasted time. The disciplined individual understands that while relaxation is important, excessive distractions only take them further away from their goals. They know that every minute spent on distractions is a minute taken away from their potential. One of the greatest challenges in overcoming distractions is the battle against instant gratification. The modern world offers countless opportunities for quick pleasure. Entertainment is available at the touch of a button, and social validation comes in the form of likes and comments. These short-term rewards are tempting, but they provide no lasting fulfillment. Discipline, on the other hand, is about delaying gratification for something more meaningful. It is about choosing to study instead of scrolling through social media, choosing to exercise instead of watching another episode of a show, and choosing to work on personal growth instead of engaging in meaningless activity. Discipline is not about eliminating all pleasure or never taking breaks. It is about having control over one's actions. It is the ability to recognize when a distraction is preventing progress and making the conscious decision to refocus. This self-awareness is crucial in a world where distractions are becoming more sophisticated and harder to resist. People often blame external circumstances for their lack of progress, but the truth is that discipline is an internal battle. It is not about removing all distractions from life, but about developing the strength to resist them and stay focused. A disciplined person creates structure in their life. They set clear goals, establish routines, and stick to them regardless of how they feel. They do not rely on motivation, which comes and goes, but instead build habits that ensure consistency. Motivation might get someone started, but only discipline keeps them going when motivation fades. It is easy to work hard when one feels inspired, but true discipline is doing the work even on the days when inspiration is absent. The power of discipline extends to all areas of life. In health, it means following a consistent exercise routine and maintaining a balanced diet, even when unhealthy temptations arise. In personal development, it means reading, learning, and improving skills rather than wasting time on entertainment. In relationships, it means being present and making an effort rather than being distracted by outside influences. In work, it means prioritizing important tasks over easy, unimportant ones. Success in any area of life is not the result of a single great effort, but of daily discipline practiced over time. Discipline also provides freedom. While this may seem contradictory, those who are disciplined actually experience greater freedom than those who are constantly distracted. When one is disciplined with their time and commitments, they create a life of purpose and control. They are not enslaved by distractions, bad habits, or impulsive decisions. Instead, they operate with clarity, knowing that their actions are aligned with their long-term goals. The person who lacks discipline is controlled by external influences, while the disciplined individual controls their own destiny. Developing discipline is not an easy task, but it is one of the most valuable skills a person can acquire. It requires self-awareness, patience, and persistence. It begins with small steps, eliminating unnecessary distractions, setting clear goals, and holding oneself accountable. Over time, these small acts of discipline accumulate, transforming a person into someone who is focused, productive, and resilient. Those who choose discipline over distraction unlock their full potential, achieving success not because of luck or talent, but because they refuse to let distractions stand in their way. In a world where words are abundant but action is rare, those who let their actions speak hold the greatest influence. Many people talk about their dreams, their ambitions, and the things they wish to achieve, but few actually take the necessary steps to make them a reality. Words are easy, they require no effort, no sacrifice, and no commitment. Actions, on the other hand, demand discipline, consistency, and perseverance. Those who choose to let their actions define them rather than their words stand apart from the crowd, earning respect, trust, and genuine success. Speaking about one's plans and ambitions may create the illusion of progress, but it often leads to nothing more than empty promises. When people constantly talk about what they intend to do, they may feel a sense of accomplishment without having actually done anything. This is a dangerous trap, as it provides temporary satisfaction while delaying real effort. True progress comes not from announcing intentions, but from taking concrete steps toward achieving them. The person who silently works toward their goals without seeking attention will always surpass the one who only talks. Actions have a lasting impact, while words fade quickly. Anyone can make promises, set goals, or express grand ideas, but unless those words are backed by consistent effort, they mean nothing. People learn to trust and respect those who deliver results, rather than those who merely speak of potential. A person's reputation is built not on what they say they will do, but on what they have actually done. When actions align with words, credibility is established. When words remain unfulfilled, trust is broken. Silence combined with action is a powerful strategy. Many people seek validation through constant talking, feeling the need to explain themselves or prove their worth through words. However, those who are truly confident understand that real proof lies in results. They do not waste time convincing others of their abilities. They simply show what they are capable of through their work. They focus their energy on progress rather than on gaining approval. This quiet determination commands respect far more than any speech ever could. Letting actions speak also eliminates unnecessary competition and distractions. When people talk too much about their plans, they invite opinions, doubts, and sometimes even envy from others. This can create unnecessary pressure, discouragement, or even sabotage. Those who work silently avoid these distractions, allowing their progress to unfold without interference. They do not feel the need to seek permission or validation. They trust in their own abilities and remain focused on their goals. Results speak for themselves. Instead of telling others what they are capable of, a person who lets their actions speak demonstrates it. Instead of debating, they achieve. Instead of explaining, they prove. This approach is not only more effective but also more inspiring. People are drawn to those who show consistency, discipline, and resilience. The world respects those who deliver results, not those who make empty claims. In the long run, actions create a legacy. Words may be forgotten, but the impact of consistent effort remains. A person who builds, creates, and contributes leaves behind something meaningful. Their work speaks for them long after they are gone. This is why the most successful individuals in history are remembered not for what they said but for what they did. Their actions shaped the world, while their words were merely an extension of their deeds. Choosing to let actions speak requires patience and self-discipline. It means resisting the urge to seek immediate recognition, and instead focusing on long-term growth. It means valuing substance over appearance, results over attention, and integrity over empty talk. While many chase admiration through words, those who let their actions define them earn true respect. They understand that success is not about making promises, it is about keeping them. Unshakable inner peace is one of the greatest strengths a person can possess. In a world full of chaos, uncertainty, and distractions, maintaining inner peace allows one to remain steady, regardless of external circumstances. Many people seek peace through external validation, material possessions, or temporary pleasures, but true peace comes from within. It is not dependent on outside forces but is built through self-mastery, discipline, and a deep understanding of oneself. When inner peace is unshakable, nothing, no criticism, hardship, or challenge can disturb it. One of the key elements of inner peace is emotional control. People often let their emotions dictate their actions, allowing anger, fear, or frustration to control them. When someone reacts impulsively to every situation, they become a prisoner of their emotions, constantly swayed by external events. However, those who cultivate inner peace develop the ability to observe their emotions without being consumed by them. They do not allow temporary feelings to dictate their long-term actions. Instead of reacting to every provocation, they respond with thoughtfulness and composure. This ability to remain calm, even in the face of adversity, is what makes inner peace unshakable. Detachment from external validation is another crucial aspect of maintaining peace. Many people base their happiness on how they are perceived by others. They seek approval, praise, and recognition, believing that their worth is determined by external opinions. However, this mindset leads to insecurity and instability, as validation from others is fleeting and unreliable. Those who have unshakable inner peace do not depend on external approval to feel worthy. They know their value and remain unaffected by praise or criticism. They do not seek to impress others, but instead focus on their own growth and integrity. Silence and solitude play a significant role in developing inner peace. Many fear being alone because they associate it with loneliness or insignificance. They constantly seek distractions, noise, and external stimulation to avoid facing themselves. However, true peace is found in solitude. Those who embrace silence learn to be comfortable with their own thoughts, to reflect deeply, and to understand themselves on a profound level. When a person no longer fears being alone, they gain a sense of independence that cannot be shaken by external circumstances. They realize that peace does not come from the presence of others, but from a strong and stable mind. Letting go of control over external events is another essential practice for achieving inner peace. Many people waste energy trying to change things that are beyond their control. They stress over the actions of others, the outcomes of uncertain situations, or the past and future. However, those with inner peace understand that true control lies only in how they respond to situations. Instead of resisting reality, they accept it. They do not fight against what they cannot change but focus on their own actions and mindset. This acceptance brings a deep sense of peace, as they no longer exhaust themselves trying to control the uncontrollable. Simplicity is also a foundation of inner peace. The modern world encourages complexity, accumulating possessions, chasing status, and constantly seeking more. However, these pursuits often create stress and anxiety rather than fulfillment. Those who prioritize simplicity understand that peace is not found in excess but in clarity. They eliminate unnecessary distractions, focus on what truly matters, and live with intention. By removing the chaos of unnecessary desires, they create a life that is balanced and peaceful. Forgiveness is another powerful tool in maintaining inner peace. Holding on to resentment, anger, or past grievances only creates internal turmoil. Many people carry the weight of old conflicts, allowing past wounds to disturb their present peace. However, those who cultivate unshakable peace understand that forgiveness is not about excusing others but about freeing oneself from negativity. They do not hold on to grudges, as they know that resentment only poisons the mind. By letting go of past hurts, they free themselves from unnecessary suffering and maintain their inner tranquility. Discipline is also essential in protecting inner peace. Many believe that peace is about doing nothing, but in reality, it requires effort and consistency. It takes discipline to maintain good habits, to avoid distractions, and to stay focused on what truly matters. Peace is not about escaping responsibility, but about managing life with clarity and control. Those who are disciplined in their thoughts, actions, and daily routines create an environment that fosters inner calm. They do not allow small distractions or fleeting temptations to disrupt their stability. Gratitude is another key element of inner peace. Many people focus on what they lack, constantly chasing after what they believe will make them happy. This endless pursuit creates stress and dissatisfaction. However, those with inner peace focus on what they already have. They appreciate the present moment, recognizing the beauty in simple things. Gratitude shifts the mind from a state of lack to a state of abundance, allowing peace to grow. Instead of constantly striving for more, they find fulfillment in what already exists. Unshakable inner peace is not something that happens overnight. It is a practice, a way of living that requires patience and dedication. It is built through self-awareness, emotional control, and a commitment to letting go of unnecessary burdens. When a person achieves this level of peace, they become unmovable. External events no longer dictate their happiness, and they remain calm in any situation. They do not seek approval, nor do they fear rejection. They do not let emotions control them, nor do they waste energy on things beyond their control. They simply exist in a state of quiet strength, untouched by the chaos around them. Unshakable inner peace is not a destination, but a way of being. It is the quiet strength that allows one to move through life with clarity, resilience, and purpose. When peace comes from within, no storm can shake it, no opinion can weaken it, and no challenge can break it. True power lies in mastering the self, in remaining calm amid chaos, and in choosing wisdom over reaction. Those who cultivate this peace become untouchable not because life is without difficulty, but because they have built a mind that nothing can disturb. In the end, the greatest victory is not in conquering the world, but in conquering oneself.